Hi everyone, it's Nat here. I'm on with a progress update on the Ultimate Op Shop challenge that Deb at String and Scissors has set me. Now, it's been heaps of fun. I've been watching videos coming in from other ladies who are also in on the challenge. So I will link their channels below so you can check them out, because it's a great way of getting ideas on the different types of things you can do with your old book pages and other bits and pieces. So in particular, Deb has put a video up showing the bits and pieces that she's thinking of using for hers. Also, Megan from Megan Sullivan Arts has made some progress as well, as has Janet Dawkins, Crafty Dork. So I'll link her below, and Sonia Steptoe as well. Now, I know there's a few other people that I think will be putting videos up soon, as well as other people who don't do YouTube will be doing it as well, and hopefully some pictures will come up in the Facebook group that we're all in. So that's just awesome. I'm having so much fun watching what everyone's doing. Now, what I have been doing, I showed some book page bits and pieces that I had started on the other day, and I had cut out some banners, but I've gone and I've inked them and stuck them together so they're ready to put in. I can always embellish them more as well. They were quite flimsy, this paper that I used, so I used some offcuts of my book pages to put on the back, just to make them a bit more sturdy so that I can hopefully use them as top tucks. You also would have seen in the last video on this that I made this journaling card, and I did a bit of, I pretended that I could watercolour and did a bit of a background, but I actually really loved the way it's turned out. So, again, the paper I had used to make a journaling card was a little bit of a flimsier type, so I used some of the start page of the coloured page of a book to back it with. That's made it a lot more sturdier now. And then I've just collaged some of the blank bits of a book page on the back to be able to write on, and I've gone and sewed around it. And then I made a little label, since we can't use any of the ones we've printed out or anything, and I've just used like a marker that I've got, a fine tip marker, to just write and roughly draw around. That was on some of my offcuts. You know, I keep the little offcuts like this out of the books, so I use some of that to make the label, and then some of the start page. So I really like the way that turned out, although I'm thinking I probably should have sewed around that rather than drawn the lines, and that would have looked really cool, so I might do that with future ones. Now, I also showed that I had folded some of the book pages to make these 4 tuck spot pocket things, so I've inked that and just sewed it. I've done a couple of those, and then I used the start page of one of the books to make a cover for a signature, and I just stuck the fairyland picture on there, and that's a little pocket that I can slip something in. And I've just used some of my old material from the secondhand shop and some old book page. And then there's one of the pockets that I just showed before that I've actually stuck in, so I can tuck behind that as well as in each of the levels. So, and I've just done a bit of inking so it wasn't too white, so that's turned out quite nicely. And yeah, sorting out my book pages to put in, I'm going to have to cut them down just a little bit. So that's what I have been doing. I'll just put them to the side with all of that. And I also got started on a cover. Now, it's real simple, and I didn't want much bulk. It's a personal journal. I'll probably be using it a fair bit, so I want to keep this journal not too bulky. So I have just used the coloured start pages of some of the books that I've ripped up. Just inked around the edges, tore them, and layered them up with a picture out of one of my bird books, and then done another label the same way with my messy writing, since I can't print anything. No, it's actually really good. I'm loving it. It's you know, usually you feel like you've got to make everything perfect, and it's nice being able to make a journal for myself where I can just do things rough. You know, it's just for me, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I've done that. So I'll probably matte spray that, I think, when I've finished. So what I thought I'd do today is I am planning to do 2 journals for the birds of Laratinga. Laratinga is the name of the wetlands near me. So, and the birds that I have in my backyard are similar to the birds that, some of the birds that are at Laratinga. So I thought it'd be heaps fun to have pictures of the different birds, and as I find them and take photos of them, I might be able to add my photos and stuff like that as well, and little notes. So what I have decided to do, because there's quite a few birds, I know I'm not meant to print, but this isn't actually going into the journal. I did print out a list of all the birds. It's a bird spotting list for Laratinga. So as you can see, there's quite a few birds. So I think to fit pictures of them all on that into these books, that I would need to do the 2 of them. So I'm thinking of doing like water birds mainly in this one, and your honey eaters and insect eaters in that one. So I thought we might get started on the cover for this one today. So I like the old rustic effect on the book, so I'm not bothering to fabric cover them or anything like that. But I have chosen a picture. I thought I'd do the chestnut teal because we have them at the wetlands. And then I've picked a couple of start papers that I reckon will be good as well. I'll just take that one off. This one I'll be able to keep to back my journaling cards with, which will be handy. So what I might do is start by, I hate starting to rip these. Like, I want it ripped, and I know I want it ripped, but just starting it is so hard. Once I've started, I'm right with it, but it's like I always feel like I'm ruining this beautiful picture, which I sort of am, but just go steady so I don't ruin it too much. So yes, much better day here where I am in the Adelaide Hills today. It's the first time in 2 weeks that I've gotten up and there are no active fires in the Adelaide Hills, which is, you know, such a relief. I think people can catch up on their sleep a bit better and just cleaning up around the place. We're really fortunate that we've had a bit of light rain overnight, which has helped douse them all. Unfortunately though, Kangaroo Island is still copping it. It looks like almost half the island's been burnt, so I really feel for the people there. I did see a report yesterday that there was a cruise liner nearby in case they needed to evacuate. I don't know if that's true or not, but tell you what, if I was on that island, I think I'd want to live on that cruise liner at the moment. So it's been a lot of devastation, and yes, just hoping that this rain, I know a few people in Victoria have said they're getting a little bit of rain, so I'm hoping that that's going to where it's needed, and I hope that it moves on to New South Wales. That would be great. Now I'm thinking of doing brown and then dark and then the bird. Okay, so I will ink around our duck. Before I forget, as usual, I'm just going to rip this little bit off a bit more. Yeah, that'll do. So I think I'm just using vintage photo. Yeah. Oh, and Deb, when you watch this, am I allowed to use this? If I'm not allowed to use this, let me know. I do have some sponges somewhere. I didn't even think, you know, you don't really find them in the op shops. Although you don't find these in the op shops either, and she allows that, so. I've used the sponges once. I didn't do much good with them either, so. But I will use them if I have to. So I would like to get used to it. So, I might just take it in a little bit because it's quite white. That's a bit better. Beautiful duck. Now, might do this paper first. We want all ripped edges. big's that? That's almost the right size there for what we want. So I'm going to rip down this side first. I'm ripping it so you can see the white bits. If I ripped it this way, like I'll show you, if I rip it that way you can't see like the white bits, but ripping it that way you can see the white bits. So I want the white bits, even though I'm going to ink them a bit. I like the way it looks for this. And then we'll want to do it about there. Now again, I want the white bits, so I'm going to have to do it. I've always got to stop and think which way to do it. I never even realised it depends on which way you rip it to whether you get the white bits or not. So it didn't bother me before, but now I've always got to stop and think, which is annoying because I'm not good at thinking. Alright. So I'm just going to even this side a bit. That's not too bad. And then we'll have to take some off the bottom here. All the big bits of this like that I'll keep because I'll probably be able to use them somewhere on some collaging. So that fits quite nicely. I still want to see some of the book cover as well. I'll decide which way I like it. I think I like it like that. So then we want to put some of the dark, the blackish on top. Then we'll have our duck. So I think I'll just do a bit of a random rip around and we'll see. Might be a bit small, but we'll see. It depends where we want. Don't mind it like that, sort of. Would be alright. Now, the other thing is I will do another label. Let's see how that would look in black. Have a label on that. Now what I've been using to make my labels is these offcuts. So when I'm cutting down the pages for my journaling cards, I take the white parts off usually, and I thought I'll just keep those and see if I can use them for something, but they work out really good for my labels. So now, what did I write on the other one? Birds of Laratingus. I think we'll do that again. Some rough lines around. Very messy, but it doesn't matter. I just pick that up a bit. Alright, scissors. Just cut that. It's hard to cut straight when my lines are so crooked. So I don't want that rustic look anyway. Now, the last one I cut down and just had one sort of border line, but I'm quite liking that one, alright. I might just cut it down a little tiny bit. I might just cut the corners down. Something a bit different. Cut the edges just a little bit because it's a tad long. I reckon that'll do. So that's what it'll end up like. So before I forget, I want to ink all of the bits, which is the boring part. Boring but necessary. So yes, I'm finally starting to be able to, I can make my way up the passage to the front door and to my carport door now without nearly tripping on everything. So I'm getting things put away bit by bit. I'm meant to be doing, I haven't done my December collage for Susanna Easdale, Vintage Blend Studios. I won a collage journal that she made, and I'm meant to be collaging along with her for the seasons and the months. Which I did start, but I haven't actually been able to find my books enough to find the pictures I want to use because it's just so messy everywhere from when my son moved in. So just getting to the stage now when where I'm starting to be able to find stuff. So I reckon what I'll do is find the stuff for December while I'm looking for the stuff I want to use for January. I think she usually does hers about the middle of the month. Didn't tear that one the right way, but that doesn't matter, still looks good. Yeah, so I think when I'll aim at having the stuff for both the pages, I think at the middle of the month, and try and do them both and then get organised. I've just cut out the digital kit that I showed for my lavender blue design team projects. I've got to get a move on with that as well. I'm having so much fun doing this, it's hard to stop. I'm not sure whether I'll get the whole journal finished for this. I know we only have to do like a few pages, but we can do that, like the whole journal if we want. And as you see, I'm trying to do 2 journals, but because it's a personal project, if I don't get it all done in a big hit, in one hit, then I can just do it bit by bit in between other projects. But I am enjoying it so much, I'll see how much I can get done and try and do a lot of it on camera. It's hard to get in all these ripped bits that I've created. I think I might have to play a video game afterwards. I haven't played a video game since I started crafting. That's unusual for me, bit of a video game freak, but it's nice sometimes just to have a relax and get away from reality. So now we know we wanted that one up that way like that, so I might stick that on first. So as usual, just using, I think I've gone back to, and I've still got some Helmars. I thought I'd gone back to my fabric glue. Getting a bit low on all my glues at the moment, so I think I might go out tomorrow. I think I'm due for a perusal of the a few second-hand shops and buy some more glue, so I might go off and do that tomorrow. It's been a bit of a stressful couple of weeks for everyone, and yeah, sometimes it's nice just to go and have some retail therapy. I'm sure a lot of the second-hand shops are probably, hopefully, you know, helping out with the raising money for fire stuff, and you know, of course, people who lose houses and that might have to rely a lot on the second-hand shops to help as well. So probably doesn't hurt to go spending a bit of money in the shops at the moment. Especially like, you know, the salvos they're usually handing out. And I know the government hands out vouchers, or whether it's the government or something like Care and Share or something, hand out like $500 vouchers and that for people to get their houses set up. And they can go and spend them at the salvos. So I'll definitely have to go there, spend some money. Want to go for a drive out. We'll see what the weather's like next week. Once we don't have any new flare-ups and have had time to clean up in the Adelaide Hills where the fires were, I'll be heading out there to spend some money, because it helps the small businesses get back on their feet. Because of course, you know, when you've got weeks of fires burning there, no one's going in and spending any money, and it must be really hard for them. Hard to know what to do to help, so if going and spending a bit of money helps, then that's something I can do. Alright, figure out which way we want all of this. I think I liked it that way. Now where do we want our duck? I like the way he was before. Oh, I know I'll never get him back that way. It's always the way. I think I'll put that one about there. So I doubt I'll get pictures for every bird to put in here just yet. That'd be a lot of work. For all the birds from Laratinga and that out of the books I've gotten that. I've probably got a picture of every one of them, but I don't think I'll worry about putting them in. What I'll do is just decorate it so it looks nice and get a whole lot of the pockets and that in, and then as I spot birds and get photos of them, I'll find pictures out of the book to put on tags and that to put in here. Now I don't know if I wanted it this way or not, but that's the way it's going to go. I was almost going to Mod Podge all this first just to protect it a bit, but it does make it a bit glossy and I didn't really want that look, so I'm thinking the matte spray I've got is going to be better for this. Right, so turn it towards me so I can have a good look. Kind of like him over there, so I might do that. So this is so simple, but I think it looks quite nice. I'm finding out I'm really not one for bulk on covers and that for my own personal journals, if I want to use them a lot and write in them a lot, but put you about there. Get my glue bomb off. Made a bit of a mess, but that's all right. Now, stick a little label on first. look quite nice. So I'll probably just leave it at this cover for this video and go do some cleaning up for the rest of the day. I could craft all day, but I better get some cleaning done. Do a few of my other crafty projects tonight and then maybe some more of this tomorrow. Figure if I do a bit of each thing each day, I might actually get some stuff done. I wish I'd stop getting glue everywhere. I don't want it. Oh, I really like that actually. Goes to show you don't need much. You don't have to overdo things all the time. I'm pretty sad actually because I always do simple stuff. One day I will do a really layered nice thing. I don't know how I'll go at it though. I'm not too good at that sort of thing, but I will. I do like it, but yeah, it's really nice though to make something out of so little and like the way it looks. So I'm loving this project because of that, and it is really making me use up a lot of these pieces I've been collecting and see what you can make. And as I said, it's nice because it's going to be useful for me as well. So that's the cover. So I hope you're all well, stay safe, and I will be on again soon. See you later.